Good morning. On to week 6. Unfortunately, it looks like we got shitty games on the weekday games. There's 4 games on Friday night. Now, well, or maybe 5. There's 5 games on Friday, and they're all shitty. I'm looking for some winners here, which of course we'll talk about tonight on the Lunch Money Show. But I went 3-3 on my picks last week. Actually, I went 4-4. Actually, well, the 3 I picked for the show, I hit all those, which means I beat Carl the Coin. So Carl the Coin went 2 for 3 this week. I went 3 for 3. But I also picked Duke as a secondary one and Oregon as a secondary one. I won both of those. So I really went 5 for 5 on my picks on the Lunch Money Show. 100%, which is rare. I told you that dumbass Coin couldn't beat me. Clemson is a 14-point favorite against North Carolina. Interesting. Now, Clemson hasn't covered a single spread this season. This might be the first one, though. Yeah, Peete, but I was dumb enough to bet on the Ryder Cup. I bet on the United States. They got their ass kicked. That thing was over from the word go. But yeah, I did good overall. 14-point favorite for the Tigers. Like I said, they haven't covered the spread yet, but North Carolina's awful. They're even worse than Clemson. If it's possible to have a worse offense than Clemson, North Carolina's got it. Got a service academy game, Air Force and Navy. Kansas State found a way to win. They got to play Baylor. That's an important game in the Big 12. Virginia Tech and Wake Forest. Virginia Tech won this week. Wake Forest got robbed, but they lost to Georgia Tech. They led that entire game pretty much. That was a crazy game, Georgia Tech game. There was a bunch of crazy games this week. Let's see here. Vandy and Alabama. Now, a little birdie told me that this is where game day is going this week, which I guess, whatever. Alabama's 3-1, Vanderbilt's 4-0. But you got the game in Tallahassee, too, Miami and Florida State. I thought they would have probably went there. But anyway, they're going to Tuscaloosa for Vanderbilt and Alabama. Alabama's a 10-point home favorite after their big win against Georgia this weekend. Texas and Florida. Boy, you know what? I'm me write this down. I gotta write that. I'm not gonna say anything until tonight. I'm not gonna give it away, but I have a feeling about this game. I got a feeling about this game. Write that one down. All right. Old Notre Dame keeps winning. They've won 2 weeks in a row now, but they're not. Their AP poll status is remaining the same, which is not a good sign for Notre Dame. They don't have a lot of quality opponents left. I mean, Southern Cal is supposed to be one, but Southern Cal's no good, so that might not be considered a quality win. They might not get in the playoffs at 10-2, even if they win out. Florida State fans are saying Herb Street made them go to Tuscaloosa because he's scared of Tallahassee. I doubt that. Now, this is an interesting game here. Virginia at Louisville. Of course, Virginia upset Florida State on Friday night. Louisville escaped with a win, but remained undefeated. But both of these teams have 0 ACC losses. So they're at the top of the ACC, along with Miami and Georgia Tech. This is an important game. I tried to tell y'all that Virginia was for real. Everyone wanted to say I just hated Florida State. I tried to tell you. I'll accept my apologies via email, smoke signals, YouTube comments, good old-fashioned snail mail, a handwritten letter, a Post-it note, or even ESP. But anyway, yeah, so Virginia, Louisville, that'd be a good one. Louisville's a 7-point favorite at home. What time's that game come on? 3:30. Miami, Ohio State, and Oregon are the 3 best above all others. Yeah. If I had to pick a team right now, who's the best in the country, I'm surprised you didn't have Ole Miss in there, Hoghead. I'd like Oregon. I think Oregon and Ole Miss have been the 2 most impressive teams in the entire season so far. I'm not sure there's anybody outside of those 2. I think Ole Miss might be favored against anybody right now, other than maybe Oregon. I'm not saying Ole Miss is better than Miami, but I think they have a better offense. But if they played on a neutral site tomorrow, who do you think would be favored, Miami or Ole Miss? It would be close. It would probably be less than a field goal either way, but I would probably think Ole Miss might be favored. Ole Miss only beat Arkansas in 6 and Kentucky by 7. Yeah, okay. Some of these Big Ten games are just not any good. Is there any good games in the Big Ten? The hell? Kind of a shitty week for the Big Ten, isn't it? Here's the doo-doo bowl right here, Michigan State and Nebraska. Where's Nate at? Nebraska's favored by 10.5. Thank you, Mike. I don't know if I'm the Pete you deserve, but this is the only Pete you're going to get. This is the only Pete you're going to get. So I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, I don't know if I'm the husband that you deserve, but this is the only husband you're going to get. I'm sorry. Minnesota at Ohio State. Well, here's the game of the week, right? Outside of Vanderbilt and Alabama, you got Miami and Florida State in primetime, 7:30 in Tallahassee. Florida State to 4.5-point underdog. Now, look, I definitely have an opinion on this game. I'll save that for tonight's Lunch Money show. But given that Florida State went on the road on Friday night and lost to Virginia in overtime, there's a lot of people, and it's funny. Okay, I know it's funny to point and laugh at Florida State because they've been running around and acting like they're going to win a national title, because they beat Alabama in week 1. We all get that. That's all funny. Ha, ha, ha. I would not look too much into that loss against Virginia. I think that's a mistake. This is a rivalry game. This game's in Tallahassee. I know Miami's good. But this is not a for sure easy win for Miami. Now, I do think Florida State's going to have some major issues on the line of scrimmage. They got pushed around by Virginia on the line of scrimmage, and that's not a good sign. And Miami's got a better lines than Virginia does. So there is that. I think Florida State can possibly upset Miami if, and this is a big if, Castellanos is going to have the game of his life. Castellanos is going to have a similar game that they had against Alabama to beat Miami. I think people are getting a little too high on Miami right now in this game. I'm not picking Florida State to win, but this game could be interesting. I love that game. Colorado at TCU. Don't look now, but Duke's on a heater. Of course, Duke won this weekend. Duke at Cal. Duke beat the absolute shit out of Syracuse. Syracuse didn't even score a touchdown. Syracuse is about to have a major losing streak without Angeli. He was 90% of their offense. They got major problems now. They're lucky they beat Clemson before he got hurt. Or Clemson's unlucky. However, which way you want to look at it. You got Vandy by 17? What? Is Georgia Tech winning with trick mirrors? Is it heart or what? They have talent, but I think they lost or two more in the future. But it's been a fun ride. They really got beat up and down the field for 4 quarters against Wake Forest. We all saw it. Now, the good news for Georgia Tech is they don't really have any tough games under schedule. Who's their toughest game? I mean, in the ACC, I know they got to play Georgia at the end of the year, so obviously that's a tough game. But Georgia Tech will probably lose a game, but they can afford to lose a game. So what? They go 7-1 in the ACC. If they do that, they'll probably be in the ACC championship game. They got to play. Who's Georgia Tech's toughest game? Turn that music off. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning to you. Georgia man down.
Yeah, Georgia man down. That was a friggin' an exciting game, though.
It was, and I was watching it at Hell's Angels Bar.
Yeah.
Crystal Sugar Lips, using her tarot cards, had predicted that Georgia would win. Dick Lynch was giving away motorcycle chains to all the little children, so it was a fun time. But watching on that 16-inch black and white TV, it was it's pretty damn depressing. To be
Crystal
honest.
Sugar Lips. I like that.
Yeah.
Is that her?
Yeah, old lady Crystal Sugar Lips. She sits in the corner and does tarot card reading.
Was that her stripper name back in the 80s?
Yeah. It was. It's Crystal Sugar Lips. Yeah. But no, Look, I know a lot of Georgia fans going to say, well, we didn't play worth of shit. Well, we didn't. First half, we didn't play worth of crap. And I don't know what is wrong with this team that we can't play a first half. We have not been able to do that since last year. We always stumble and just don't play well the first half. And then sometime the second half, we get up. The defense, I got to say, Georgia's defense in the second half showed up. They're getting in the first half. They were on their damn heels. If somebody, I can't blame Gunnar Stockton.
If somebody would have told you before the game, look, so you don't know know the outcome, right? But they're looking in the future, and they told you Alabama's not going to score in the second half. Who wins this game?
I would say Georgia. Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody would.
Yeah, and Georgia had their opportunities, drop damn balls. Again, I don't blame it on Gunnar. Gunnar was throwing it. He had the arm. He was throwing the ball. But Nate Frazier fumbling, them getting the field goal. I mean, there's the game right there. Because Georgia shut them down in the second half defensively. But Kirby snake bit, and I think that even Kirby thinks he's snake bit with Bama. I don't know if Bama just was ready to play. Maybe they were. They knew they were coming into a hostile territory. It wasn't because the fan base wasn't there, because they were loud as hell, but just didn't happen, man. So there we go. We'll live with it, as we always do. With a Bama win, it's kind of like the Boston Red Sox and Yankees before finally the Red Sox started beating the Yankees in the World Series. We're kind of in that same kind of position.
Yeah.
I mean, we beat them. We beat them in a natty, a few years back. But hey, I don't know.
I'll tell you what. People could say what they want to about Kalen DeBoer. He called a masterful game. I thought he did.
Oh, he did. And I got to say something. That Ty Simpson kid is good. The problem was they must have a huge offensive line because we blitzed, and we could not get to him. And that was pissing me off. I mean, he had all the time in the world to throw the ball.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he's an exceptional quarterback, no doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know what how many yards he ran up against us and all that, but he didn't run up anything in the second half. That was good.
Yeah. He was close to coming to Clemson too. He went to Alabama instead.
Did he really? Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
That was one of his top three.
I noticed on your roster you got to play Bill Belichick next week. Right?
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. You know what I'm not excited about? The love fest is going to go on between Bill Belichick and Dabo Swinney all week long.
Yeah,
it's just
really?
going to.
Are they holding hands and going to
God, it's just going to be Dabo Swinney talking about how Bill Belichick's the greatest coach in the history of coaching, and then Bill Belichick talking about how Dabo Swinney is the greatest college coach in the history of coaching, and it's just going to go bad. And they might as well just fucking tongue kiss and get it over with. I mean, that's how it was. That entire they did a podcast together in the off season, or they didn't do a podcast together. They were on somebody else's podcast together, but.
Who would be the best French kisser, you think, Belichick or Dabo?
Well, something tells me, I think Bill Belichick's a freak, so probably Bill Belichick.
Oh, man. Well, it should be an interesting game to watch, but no, by all means. So, anyway.
You know what? I hope it's not interesting because if it is interesting, that means there's a major problem. Well, we know there's a major problem with Clemson, but it means it's even worse than I thought. Because
are you playing at home or are you playing at the Tar Heels?
No, it's in North Carolina, and that's a good thing because Clemson can't win at home. So,
yeah,
Clemson's.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I mean, it was kind of an interesting week. I mean, Ole Miss beating LSU. Who else went down in the top five? Penn State. Oh, I was happy about that. Hey, did you watch Game Day?
I watched some of it, yeah.
Them in the whiteout. I mean, when did they ever favor a team? I mean, they're already favored if they go, I guess, into a hometown of a team. They're already showing a bit of favor. But to wear the whiteout, I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I guess it was like the win in Rome type thing. I don't think they all picked Penn State to win, though.
I didn't watch the.
I think
the
a couple.
latter.
I know Desmond Howard picked Oregon. I'm pretty sure that Nick Saban picked Oregon. I'm not sure, and maybe the rest of them picked Penn State. I don't know, but.
Well, I'll pick Georgia except Saban, and Saban said, "I'm just picking this with my heart." And
Yeah,
said
yeah.
Alabama, but yeah, the rest of them picked Georgia.
Yeah, he got a lot of shit for that. But what do you? Come on. I mean, come on. First of all,
Why wouldn't he? Of course. Look. Anytime there's a pick, I mean, he's going to have to do, and it's an Alabama game. I think that Saban's going to say Alabama. I just, or unless he knows that the opponent is going to be much stronger and bigger than Alabama, but there's not too many teams that can be stronger and bigger.
Yeah, people that get mad about it blows my mind. You go on Twitter after the game day's over, and people get mad about who picked who to win. Oh, that guy just hates us. He picked again. Who cares? I mean, really?
Yeah, it's just game day. I mean, for God's sake.
Who gives a shit
who
they
I love
pick?
About game day? Watching the field goal kick. That's what I love watching.
Oh, yeah, that is good, yeah.
And it's just cool. And this kid, I guess he was a soccer player.
Yeah, he drilled that.
33-yard field goal, kicked it way over.
Oh, that thing would have been good from 50 almost.
Yeah, I think he could have, by all means. But again, I saw some good favor in Georgia. I mean, defensively, I was happy to see, that they played like they did, lights out in the second half. But man, we just got to. I don't know. And I heard Kirby even say it. We got to figure out how to play in the first damn half and instead of playing on our heels.
Well, that's ideal, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the most exciting game of the week. Well, there's a bunch of really good ones, and Georgia and Alabama was good. The Florida State and Virginia game was good, but the game that started out the worst, the Penn State and Oregon game. I don't know. It was on the same time as Georgia, so I don't know how much of that you watched.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of it. I was kind of keeping tabs on the score, and I was saying, it was all tied up at one time.
Well, it was 3-3 at halftime.
Is that right?
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, it was a boring game. Nobody could score. And then in the third quarter, Oregon takes a 2-score lead. They go and they score back-to-back touchdowns. So now Penn State's down real bad. And I'll be goddamn if they didn't make a comeback in the fourth quarter, tied up, take it to overtime. It was a crazy game.
How about the Tennessee game? That went into overtime too, didn't it? Against
Mississippi State. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of overtime games this week.
Yeah. Yeah. So that that tells you the strength of all the SEC team roster. It really does. That you can't just sit on your laurels and think, oh, I've got Kentucky this week, and this will be easy. No, you cannot think that way at all.
No, the SEC is hard to figure out. There's still 5 or 6 teams that are in it. The same with the Big 12, and really, I guess there's probably 3 or 4 in the ACC even. The Big Ten.
I got to go. I'm sorry, Pete.
All right.
Okay. See you, man.
See you later, Scott.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't know. The Big Ten's more difficult to figure out. I still think it's probably Oregon, Ohio State, and everybody else. I guess you could throw a couple other teams like Indiana in there, but that's about it. I don't think Penn State's good enough to win the Big Ten. I don't even really think Indiana is. I think it's a good story. I think it's a good team, but I really think it's really those two. I think it's Ohio State and Penn State. That's probably who's going to go to the championship game. So not as exciting in the Big Ten. But I'm not saying the Big Ten can't win the playoffs. I'm just saying it's just not as many teams. That's what I said, Oregon and Ohio State. That is what I said, isn't it? I think Oregon's the best, or I think Oregon might be the best team in the country, let alone the Big Ten. Did game day rob Florida State? I would have thought they should have went to Tallahassee, yeah. I'm not sure if it's because they just went to Miami and Miami's in this game. They just went there 2 weeks ago. I said Penn State? No, not Penn State. Oregon and Ohio State. I said I don't think Penn State's good enough to win it. The Big Ten. I said Penn State's not good enough to win the Big Ten is what I said. I don't know what you're listening to. But yeah, I think Oregon's probably. I think Oregon, they're definitely top 2 or 3 in the country, but they might be the best team in the country. So, Herb Street will pick Vanderbilt. He's probably, I don't know which. Let's see here. Let's see what station that's on. He might be calling the game, in which case he won't pick it. What are we doing? Where is it? What time's that game come on? 3:30? Where is it? There it is. Yeah, it's at 3:30 on, it doesn't say what channel. ABC? Okay. Does he call ABC games? Ohio State is the best team in the country. Defense is too nasty. They're definitely one of them. I don't know if they're the best or not, but they're definitely one of them. Vanderbilt, cute little story is coming to an end Saturday. Billy Club smashing incoming. Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick, I'm picking Alabama. But I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout as people think. I think Vanderbilt's got some fight in them. I think at the end, Alabama will probably be too much, though. Let's see here. 10.5 points is the spread. Do I remember that North Carolina fan that used to come on the show? Yes, I do. Luke Walker was his YouTube name. He stopped coming on a couple of years ago. He messaged me on Twitter in a direct message and asked me to take a bunch of Midday shows down off, to delete them. And I told him no. And I haven't seen him since. So, that's what happened with him. Don't ask why. I don't know why. I didn't ask him why. But that's what he wanted me to do, and I said, no, I'm not doing it. Vandy will be able to run on Bama if they keep away enough. They could win late. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that Vanderbilt could upset Alabama. We've seen way crazier upsets this season already than that. I mean, Vanderbilt's not a bad team. So, yeah, I mean, they possibly could upset them. I don't know if I'm going to touch that game from a betting standpoint, though. I don't like that number, 10.5. If I was going to bet it, I'd probably take Vanderbilt in the points. Over 10 points, but I don't like it. I also like the over. I like the over 56 here. If I were to bet it, that's probably what I would bet, over 56. Oh. Let's try to look for. You think Bama by 3 touchdowns? Yeah, I don't know. There might be a little bit of a hangover here for Alabama after the Georgia game. You see that a lot. I do think Alabama's a better team than Vanderbilt, but I also think Alabama's a better team than Vanderbilt last year, and we saw what happened there. And Vanderbilt will be up for this game more than they've been up for any other game so far this year. So they'll go out there and they'll give it 110%. Let's look for some upsets here. I've been killing it on betting lately, betting home dogs. Especially, I'm not talking about like, Now, this is a good example, right here. I'm not talking about betting New Mexico State as a 2.5 point underdog at home to Sam Houston. I'm talking about, some of the better teams. But if you've just been betting home dogs all season long, you probably have done pretty well. Hell, if you've been betting underdogs at all, I bet there's a lot more. I think there's a lot more teams through 5 weeks that the underdogs have covered their number, even if they lost. The majority of them. Huffer Billy Paul, Clemson loses to Belichick. Come on, man. You're not going to do this all week, are you? You're not going to do this all week. Please tell me you're not going to. North Carolina's right. They're right down there with Stanford, and I mean they're bad. They're not just bad. They're unwatchable. That's how bad they are. Wisconsin at Michigan. That's a big number there. 16.5. Kentucky at Georgia. That's a big number. 20.5. Kentucky's not any good though. South Carolina just beat the dog shit out of them. Paul has Dabo derangements. Yeah, he does. Watch and see. Belichick may pull one out. You're calling him Bella Cuck. Oh, God. I was just saying at the beginning of the show, I was like, Clemson hasn't covered a single spread this year. They're 0-for. This might be the first one that they do cover. 14 points. Yeah. I'm not sure I'm going to touch that game because I just don't have any faith in Clemson at all. But if I were, I may pull the trigger there. I'm going to actually just watch the line throughout the week and see if it goes down below 14. I probably will take Clemson against my better judgment. Every bettor should bet against the Tennessee Titans every week. Yeah, they're another terrible. They don't. They're just like Clemson. They don't cover. You're right. I was smart last night and took the Cowboys, and they won. Hell, I got 6.5 points, but they won in overtime. Another home dog situation. I didn't even look at the teams. I said Cowboys are underdogs at home, taking them. Yeah, it was 40-40. No, it was 37-37 when and then the Cowboys went down right down. They went to 75 yards down the field, kicked a field goal from like the 5-yard line. And then I guess they stopped. I think it was 40-37 was the final score. Wake Forest at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech? I don't know if they're winning one for the skipper or what's going on there, but they're playing better ever since they fired their coach. It ended 40-40? Oh. I went after the Cowboys went down there and kicked that field goal. I went to sleep. I fell asleep. I was watching it in bed on my phone. And when I woke up this morning, I saw I won my bet, so I figured that the Cowboys won. So it actually ended in a tie? Huh. Home dog alert. Home dog alert. Texas at Florida. As much shit as we give DJ Lagway, Arch Manning's worse. This game's in the swamp. Billy Napier's coaching literally for his job right now, which he might not have one anyway, even if he wins this game, but he's hanging on by the skin of his teeth to that job right now. And Florida's a 6.5-point underdog at home. I don't know, man. Hint, hint. Well, the overtime rules in the NFL are they need to adopt the college system of overtime. It's stupid. I hate it. It's not exciting at all. It takes too long, and then things like this happen where it ends in a tie. We talked about this on the stream. I was streaming the primetime games on Saturday night. There's a lot of things in the NFL or rather in college that the NFL needs to adopt from a rules standpoint. That's one of them. I agree. I like the overtime system in college way better than the NFL. I hate the 2 feet in bounds rule in the NFL. I think the college got that right. 1 foot in bounds as a catch. I like that a lot better. There's other things too. Those are the two that stand out. Dabo's creating PTSD en masse right now. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jay. Yeah. Oh, my God. That might be the worst. The kickoff situation in the NFL, they may as well just not even kick. Why are they even kicking the ball off? It looks like something you do in Pop Warner. College overtime format needs serious change. What would you change it to? Tell me that. Oh, because I disagree. Wholeheartedly. They've changed it 100 times over the years, and this is the best it's ever been. Change it to whatever Dabo's against. You did tell me? Why change the entire game in college overtime? Just play an extra abbreviated quarter if tie. Well, that's what the NFL does. And it's terrible. You just described the NFL overtime, and it sucks. Flip a coin in overtime in college. What do you mean by that? Well, that's what the NFL does too. To decide who gets to kick first. You like ties. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Clemson fans piss me off.
Yeah, exactly, Riz. He says overtime is basically sudden death in college football. That's exactly what it should be. whoever came up with the NFL overtime system needs to be tarred and feathered. We need to go back to 1700s, and start tarring and feathering people again.
Clemson fans piss me off.
Would Clemson meet at the Paw for a tie? I guess so. I don't know. Probably. Did you see the saddest sight ever? Do you know? Well, a part of it was because more than half of the stadium was empty against Syracuse because they had like a 2-hour lightning delay, and like most people just didn't come back to the stadium after the delay was over. Anyway, and then a lot of them left when they were getting their ass kicked in the fourth quarter. So, the meeting at the Paw or gathering at the Paw or whatever after the Syracuse game, there was like 5 people. It's like 5 Clemson people at the Paw. Dab was on the sideline crying. The players didn't even want to hang out with the fans. They ran right to the locker room. God damn, it was depressing. I don't think I've seen that in 30 years. An atmosphere inside that stadium that depressing. It's been over 30 years. The North Carolina fans have checked out on Bill Belichick. Well, first of all, North Carolina fans don't know anything about football. So they were, they all were walking around with hard-ons the entire offseason because they thought they had a home run hire in Bill Belichick. They thought they were going to go win 6 Super Bowls. And the reality has set in Chapel Hill that they made a terrible hire on that's a god-awful football team. And so now, you want to talk about, we always talk about fair weather fans and whatever. A fair weather fan is, somebody who only pays attention to their team when they're good, only supports their team whenever they're good. Only goes to the games when the team is, ranked in the top 10, whatever. That's the definition of North Carolina fans. So, I don't know, maybe Clemson coming to town will fill up that stadium halfway. But as bad as they are, I don't think there's it'll probably be about 50% orange and 25% blue and 25% empty. There'll be more Clemson people there, though, than North Carolina fans. I can almost guarantee it. Also, you can get tickets for next to nothing. I actually thought about going just because it's North Carolina and Bill Belichick. But even if I got a ticket for $20 or whatever, I'd still have to pay for a hotel and, gas to get up there. And so it would end up costing me more than it's worth, even if I got a cheap ticket. But I did think about it. What's up, Paul?
Hey, so just hear me out on this overtime thing, okay? So, not that I agree with. I don't like sudden death in the NFL. I don't like the fact that the first team scores wins. That's because coin toss could mean you're done, right? The coin toss wins the game, not the play on the field. So I have a problem with that. But the problem with college is we changed the whole format really we go into this crazy, you got to do 2 points, then you got to do 1 point, then you got to do 2 points, it's just play the regular game. If you want to put it on the 40 and just play until you give somebody 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, I don't care, whatever you think it is, but give them both a shot and see what happens. But I don't like we're gonna play and you got to do, now you're forced to do 2 point conversions, and that stuff it's like we just threw the game out. That's all I'm trying to say. We threw a
yeah, I like it though, but I know you essentially want a fifth quarter.
Yeah, but I want it abbreviated.
That's what the NFL does. So the NFL does. Do you know the NFL overtime rules?
Mm-hmm. Well, do they still do the sudden death? Like whoever scores first wins?
No.
Oh, they used to. Okay, so
now what they do is they do a coin toss. You get this. The winner of the coin toss gets to decide whether you want to be the first with possession or if you want to kick off. Right, just like before the game.
Okay.
And so whoever gets the ball first You get equal possession, so each team at least gets one chance. Each team gets at least one chance to score. So let's like last night, for example, the Cowboys got the ball first in overtime. They went right down the field, kicked a field goal. Then they kick it off back to I forget who they were playing. Anyway, whatever. They kick off, huh?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they kick it off. The other team has a chance to go down and either tie it or win it at that point. So they get a field goal to tie it or a touchdown to win it. Now, there's a 10-minute clock. So it's like a 10-minute quarter, basically. And I guess what happens is if it's tied at the end of that 10 minutes, it ends in a tie, which I guess is what happened last night. I fell asleep at the very end, so I don't know. But
so let's go to the next thing. Well, I like that format. So just let me confirm.
He said, okay, so they're telling me that if you score a touchdown, then it does end the game.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I think you need to give both teams an offense, their offenses and their defenses, a chance to redeem themselves in the overtime. But we're not going to play all night. And then if they don't, they tie. So let's get to the tie situation.
I'm not sure that's true. I think if the first team gets a touchdown, the second team still has a chance to get a touchdown to.
Yeah, that would be right.
To tie them. I'm pretty sure. Because the reason I say that is I know that last night on the live broadcast, they were discussing the advantages of receiving versus kicking if you win the coin toss in overtime. And they both said it would be better to go second. Now, I don't know why you'd want to go second if a touchdown
the other
ends
guy
it.
only gets 3, you can go 7 and win. That's all.
Right.
I mean, you know how much you have to prove. Do I just need 3 to tie again, or do I need to go to 7? If you do 3 right out of the gate, you don't know what the other team's going to do.
Right.
But here's the thing, and this goes back to motivation, two things. Both teams are tired by now. Okay, whether it be defense or offense, I don't know. Probably defense, because defense is a lot more exerting than offense. But they're tired. Okay, so now who's the tiredest? Who's got the most depth? So that's one thing that's going on in overtime. But if they go through, let's say like the NFL, they go through 10 minutes, and they both come out after 10 minutes still tied, then that's it. We now just call it a tie. I mean, I don't know why we feel like somebody has to win. I mean, we have to beat each other into bludgeoning them until somebody gets lucky enough to win after 8 overtime.
Well, that's why I like the college one, because eventually once you get to the third overtime, it's nothing but 2-point conversions, right? So the first overtime is you can kick a field goal or get a touchdown, and you kick an extra point. Second overtime is you can get a touchdown, but you have to go for a 2-point conversion, no extra point. And then starting in the third overtime, it's just, you're lining up 2-point conversions back and forth. And the thing about that is eventually somebody's going to win in a pretty timely manner.
That prove they both are equal? I mean, somebody got lucky and got 2 points, and the other one didn't. I mean, they're still the same. They're no different.
Yeah, but at least you're crowning a winner.
Yeah, but
at the end of it, people that
winner doesn't matter.
Here's another thing from a fan standpoint, especially if you're in attendance for the game. If you pay all this money and you go travel to go see these games, you want to see a definite outcome to the game, not a tie.
Tell your team not to play for overtime. Go for the win.
Well, that doesn't change the fact that they still tie. Nobody wants ties.
Don't play for overtime.
Nobody wants ties, except for you, I guess.
They should play for wins.
Paul wants ties.
No, they should play for a win.
You just said you liked it in the chat. You said I like ties.
No, here's the thing: in the regular time, if you don't want to go to overtime and risk the idea of having to gum it to death for another 10 minutes and then come out still in a tie, play for the win. I don't know why everybody plays for a tie. That's ridiculous. Don't play for the tie. Go for it and lose.
Well, that's why the college, once you get into second overtime, they don't allow you to play for a tie. You have to go for 2.
Well,
that makes it less likely that both teams are both going to score and get the 2-point conversion.
A good point there. Okay, I will say that. I'm coming around on that one. You're probably right. They're forcing them to take risks. Yeah. Because that's hard to do. A 2-point conversion is hard. Over and over again. I mean, I don't know how they did that damn 8 overtime with Georgia Tech.
Yeah, we see it every once in a while.
It was crazy though. I mean, just think about it. How many more minutes can those players keep banging in there? I mean, that's hard. It's like a car wreck every play.
Yeah. Well, you remember that the LSU and Texas A&M game that went to 7 overtimes with the older overtime? That's what changed the rule.
Yeah.
That's when they changed it to the way it is now, because that was just, I mean, you had people out there about to literally die.
That was a game of attrition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like who can not have a heart attack first?
Yeah, or die of exhaustion.
Yeah, no, I don't know the right answer. I just feel like sometimes the teams now are starting to play for a tie in regular during the regular game because they can get to overtime format and they can wear the other team down because they know their defense is tired. But it's like, just win it in the regular.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think I'm a much bigger fan of the college overtime rules than the NFL. And the kickoff is even. Have you seen the kickoff in the? I know you don't watch the NFL
that's
really.
Stupid.
It is. It looks like it's so bad. And I get why they do it or whatever, but were there really that many people getting seriously injured on kickoffs? I don't seem to remember that being a big problem. I mean,
first and foremost, if we really are going to play that game, then you don't ever kick the ball off again in a regular game. If you're really worried about that, why are we worrying about it in overtime? I mean,
yeah, my point. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. If you're just going to do that, you may as well just go ahead and say forget the kickoffs altogether. We'll just every drive will just start at the 25-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if special teams no longer matters, then let's just do that.
At least college hasn't done that. I'll give them that credit. I hope they don't take that route.
No, but they keep doing all these protective measures. You know, if it goes past this and it's out of that, you know, all that stuff. I'm like, come on, guys. Let's be honest. Let's get serious about it now.
Another thing, if I'm saying things I liked that they've changed, have you seen that the ACC is now doing this thing where you can hear the refs discussing the call when they do a replay?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I do too. That's great. I'm thinking that's probably going to spread to other conferences after.
Transparency is perfect.
Yeah, I like it.
Now, they're normal people. You notice that when they do it, they're normal.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like I didn't think they were normal to begin with, but at least...
Well, no, but you get to see it. You get to know it.
And by the way, because you can hear them doesn't mean that they're making the right call. It just means you can hear them making the bad call and the reasons why.
Yeah, because they're normal people. They're not out here, oh, yeah, so-and-so's got 5 points on the game. No, they're just trying to figure it out just like you and I would.
Plus, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
You know.
I like it.
They need to do that. They need to do that in the college football playoff committee room when they're discussing where to rank these teams. They need to have microphones in there. You know what? If they did that, if they sit in there and deliberate for 2 or 3 hours or whatever it is to come up with these rankings, and they're going back and forth about who should be ranked ahead of who. If they just stream that on YouTube or
it'd be like
or streamed it on ESPN2 or whatever, just even if it's in the middle of a weekday, it doesn't matter when it is. I guarantee you the ratings for that would be enormous.
Yeah. It'd be C-SPAN for sports.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Just open it up and let it be.
It would be more. It'd be more interesting than C-SPAN.
Exactly. Well, yeah, of course. Although I did watch this court deliberation recently, and that was kind of interesting because you got to see all sides angling or jockeying. That Mrs. Peete would have loved it too. She may have even seen it, but it was fun to watch the personalities come out in the both back and forth, the banter. It was great.
In a court case?
Well, a Supreme Court case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was high stakes poker going on, but no, I mean I wouldn't do it in any court case. It's boring as hell. But no, it's good to see the deliberations. You're right. Why don't they do that? They could make a lot of money on that show. Oh my God. Now the damn people deciding who's going to be in the playoffs would get NIL.
Well,
so they're famous.
The ACC only started that because the ACC ref quit a couple of weeks ago because of the replay controversy in the Syracuse-UConn game. No, they decided to do that in the offseason, before the season even started.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about. They've been doing it since the first game of the year.
Yeah. No, it's funny to think about all the malignment that these refs get. The problem with the refs, and you know this, most of us do, but they just aren't doing it full time. And they're if you and I were doing a regular job and coming out there and reffing on Saturday, we would have issues. Like, we wouldn't know every little P and Q. You know, we wouldn't have everything completely buttoned up. It's not our full-time job. I just had a big case I had to do. I had to go and do this stuff on the construction job, whatever it is. And now you're asking me to ref this high-pressure game, and so I fuck up a call, I mean, you can't blame them for that. What you blame is the system.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just like they need... They need constant training throughout the off season to keep things fresh, and just like yeah, I agree. But
anything you don't do on a regular is going to give you just like me. I cut trees once every 3 years, right? I get a chainsaw and I go to cut a tree. Do you think I'm cutting a tree like the dadgum people who cut trees all day long? No. Not even close. I'm every time I do it, I get nervous. I'm gonna cut a leg off.
Yeah. They need to change that. And if it's just a money issue, they've got plenty of that to go around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, charge every team a certain fee every year, each university, and put that towards their salaries to make them where they are full-time employees. And not that they just get to coach or ref during the season and then go on an 8-month vacation, but during the off-season, they need to be doing stuff too.
No, exactly. I mean, it's a full-time job.
Right.
But here's the thing. Who runs that, and should it be across all football in a particular division or whatever hierarchy we want, like SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC? Doesn't matter. It's not the SEC refs. It's not the Big 10 refs.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. I think they need to consolidate that too. I don't think there should be conference referees.
That's right. And
now you can regionalize them based on where these referees live, so they're not traveling the world. There's no reason for
that's not a conference dictate on
right,
because conferences have different rules, which is another problem. Just be clear, the rules should be consistent. The Big 10 shouldn't have a different rule than the SEC, and the ACC shouldn't have a different rule than the Big 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's all get on the same page.
Yep.
So,
Well, we finally agree on something, Paul.
we agree on a lot. I love Dabo too. I give him a hard time because he's really making me angry. But at the same time, he is creating, when I said he's creating PTSD, a lot of people place a lot of faith in him, and when he lets them down, they don't know how to process it, and I'm one of them.
Well, I know I get mad at him too all the time.
Oof, it just makes me, I'm like, dude, you're killing me over here. He's absolutely hurting my soul. So so like, you gotta get a sense of responsibility to our souls over here.
Well, he has a responsibility to
the player,
to the people who pay his salary.
The university, yes, he does, and I hope he gets it. I mean, well, I shouldn't say I hope. I know he gets it. I know Dabo gets it. I don't believe that Dabo's.
I'm not sure he does get it. I think he's kind of out of touch with reality.
You may be a little further off that than I am. I think he.
I don't think he does get it. I don't think there's very many people around Dabo Swinney that are telling him, that aren't telling him that everything he does is the greatest thing that's ever been done. I mean, so when you live that.
I think Jeff Scott doesn't talk to him.
Does he talk to? I'm sure. Well, I know they're.
I mean, like in a candid way about that.
I know.
You sound like a crazy person.
I don't think he does. No. I think all of these people that's close to him, and all his former coaches and all that, they're because when you hear them talk about him, they all pretty much say the same thing. They all say like, this is who Dabo is. This isn't fake. Like it's just who he is. Now, okay, that's fine. That's who he is. But I mean, sometimes if you're too stubborn to even budge and change a little bit, that over the long run, that's not a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what got him that way. I mean, maybe success. Maybe.
Well, that's the double-edged sword with him. It's part of the reasons he's so successful is because he is stubborn, and that can also be the reason why you're having problems. So, you know,
he built up that stubborn muscle,
and that's what and that's what he says. That's kind of his thing whenever he talks about if you're tired of winning, I'll go somewhere else. He's like, look, I'm the one that built this here. If you're tired of me, I'll go somewhere else. But I'm not changing. And yeah, maybe he has a point to that, but then the ball's in somebody else's court to, if they do want to change, then they need to say, okay, all right, well, thanks for everything you did, but maybe we're going to go in a different direction now. But when there's that much money involved, it's not just like it's not like just breaking up with your girlfriend. You can't just say, okay, I'm moving out. Yeah, you got to pay her $60 million.
Well, you better have a lot of money when you place that bet.
Yeah.
Hey, what about this Miami versus FSU game? Let's just quickly touch on that if we can.
I love it. I think it's going to be great. I think that everybody, I think
is going to be licking his chops.
I think you're going to see a lot of money go on Miami because Florida State just lost to Virginia. And from a betting standpoint, that tells you to take Florida State. The game's in Tallahassee.
Take the points.
Definitely, I probably would take the points, yeah.
But that being said, I still think Miami's going to win that game. I mean, really, because they just got a more complete team. And and they built it they've been building.
I agree.
They've been building it for 3 years.
Yeah, I think Miami's better. Doesn't mean they're going to win the game, though.
Yeah. Well, that's true because everything, you know how it goes with games. It's like Vandy could beat Bama too again, which Bama don't want to hear that, but they could.
I think Florida State's a better team overall than Virginia, but Virginia, I mean, pushed them around for 4 quarters. Did you watch that game?
Yeah. Did you not feel good for our boy?
Oh yeah, I love Tony Elliott.
I mean, I felt so good for him. I was like, dude, he needed that.
Well, watching that offense is like watching Clemson's offense back in 15, 16, 17. Yeah. I mean, they bully you on the lines of scrimmage. They run the ball, and it opens up the pass. And then
yes, and he's got it rolling over there.
I know he's got it rolling over there. And you know what? He didn't have much of a choice, Tony Elliott, but he's got a lot of transfer portal players. He needs to get on the phone with Dabo Swinney and say, hey, see what I'm doing over here?
Get Dabo.
How many of those, and they got a good offensive line too. How many of those offensive linemen could be playing for Clemson right now if Dabo went out and got him instead of Virginia?
Yeah, I don't. Good points. All good points.
Yeah. Running backs.
What I was really looking at in that game at the end was when they rushed the field. I mean, I know you said we had very few people come to the Paul or whatever, but when they rushed that field, that poor Florida State guy, I don't know how he would survive.
Well, this is what so. Whenever the ACC announced that they were going to start fining these teams for rushing the field, I made a video about it, and I was like, "This is a safety problem." And it wasn't that long, but a couple months ago, go look up that video and go look at the comments. Everybody was like, "No, there's no safety issue. You're being a pussy, Pete." Blah blah blah.
The hell?
And I'm like, "No, it is a safety problem." And that right there was exactly what I'm talking about.
That's bullshit. And we should get Miss Pete bullshit there.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
I mean, god dang, bro. That was bad.
That is bullshit! That is bullshit!
I was just sitting there going, damn. I felt bad for him. I don't think he got hurt because we'd have heard about it. But at the same time, it was by the grace of God.
Well, yeah, and then it wasn't even, and this isn't that big of a deal, but you saw the player run by Castellanos and put the double tall boys in his face.
Oh, God.
I mean, that kind of thing, if Castellanos would have jacked that kid up and slammed him on the ground, I wouldn't have blamed him for it. I mean...
I probably would have.
And everything that happened in that was exactly what I described in the video. I was like, you got a bunch of drunk 18 to 22-year-old kids who have no idea what they're doing. You've got these players out there that have just gone through a passionate four-quarter or overtime game. They're spent physically, emotionally, and then you've got this little punk-ass kid running around sticking his fucking middle finger in your face.
Yeah.
I mean...
I wouldn't tolerate it. It would be about 3 seconds, and then they would get a punch.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2. But
so...
Now you've lost a game, and you don't need that shit. So stop. And it shouldn't have. That at the same time, they shouldn't have lost that game. But that's because Florida State didn't come to play, and Virginia did. That's what happens.
Virginia's offense is legit.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I think it's great. I'm actually looking forward to watching. I'm going to pay close attention to Tony Elliott's offense from here on out. I gave up on them last year. I just said, oh, they're so screwed. But if Tony Elliott turns Virginia's offense around, look, I'm going to be the biggest fan.
Well, he has turned it around.
I mean, like I'm saying, if we can see it just stay, if he comes into contention in the ACC,
they have a chance of doing it because they don't really. Yes. Their schedule's kind of like Georgia Tech. Their schedule's favorable.
It looks good. So I'm saying, if it comes to that, I'm going to be like, come on, Virginia, come on, get it done.
They've got some holes defensively. They're not as strong defensively, but offensively, they can score with anybody.
Yeah, I like Georgia Tech. I like Brent Key. So I like Brent Key almost as much as I have a good feeling for Georgia Tech because I grew up.
Yeah, Georgia Tech though is kind of they're skating on thin ice. I think they're a one-dimensional team. Now Haynes King's an absolute monster, but they're one-dimensional. They can't throw the ball.
Yeah, they got holes.
So the problem is
two-quarterback system.
What happened to them when they get down by 2 or 3 scores, it's hard for them to come back. Now they were able to somehow do it against Wake Forest, but it wasn't easy. Imagine if they played somebody a lot better than Wake Forest and they had to come back. They wouldn't. Luckily, they were up for the majority of the game against Clemson. So.
Oh, they were. I'm looking forward to them being, one of my biggest complaints with a lot of the teams out there is that they don't show resiliency or they don't change. Like they don't adapt. So my biggest complaint with Georgia Tech is they need to probably get a second quarterback or 2 quarterbacks.
Well, they have one.
Well, I know, but they need to.
It's funny you say that because Philo. Remember that's all we heard.
But they need to exhibit it. It's my only point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and so there was a lot of people when they were down to Wake Forest calling for Philo to come in, and he can throw the ball.
Yeah.
So
I like him. I mean,
I think Philo's a good player. I still think that Haynes King is the heart and soul of the offense, though. I mean, I guess if you got in a situation where you're down by 21 points in the second half and you have to throw the ball, then you almost kind of have to go to Philo at that point.
But you need to build him. You need to build that muscle in some of these games. Now, the last game was not the game because they were struggling to survive. But in another game, they can do that, and they need to. They need to give Philo some reps, let him get going.
Yeah.
And then it's not a controversy. That's the other thing is everybody needs to know it's not a controversy. We're just inoculating ourselves from being 2-dimensional or 1-dimensional. We can go 2-dimensional. And that'll piss them off. That'll piss off the college world. To be good.
Well,
How you liking your truck, by the way?
Huh?
How you like your truck?
Well, now that I got it fixed, it's great.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to. So they did fix it, huh?
Yeah, it's fixed now.
Yeah.
Yeah, cost me an arm and a leg. I almost had to actually cut my arm off and give it to him.
Did you see them and be like, this isn't worth much?
Yeah.
It's just an arm.
It's an arm with a Swatch watch on it.
Take the Swatch watch off and take it to the pawn dealer.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's good now. So, you live and you learn.
Yeah. Well, you didn't look. I mean,
Well, I'll never buy a car from them again.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably not the normal, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, once you have one bad experience, then I'm not doing it
No,
again.
you never do it again. It's like when you go to a restaurant and you come home with food poisoning. Do you ever go to that restaurant?
No,
again?
hell no.
Absolutely, you do not. I don't. Well, at least I don't recommend it. You can choose to do so.
Let's see. Mike Porter, who's a Georgia Tech guy. Syracuse, Duke, Virginia Tech, Pitt, and NC State will give Georgia Tech more than they can handle. No, I disagree with you about that. So you should win Syracuse easy. They got no offense now. So Syracuse, I would not worry about them at all. Duke, on the other hand, that one they're better than Wake Forest.
They are. I think Syracuse is a.
Duke is one you should watch out for. Here's the three. I think you'll beat NC State too. I'm still not sold on them. I don't think they're very good. Duke, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. That might be your three chances at a loss, or multiple losses. But you'll probably lose one of those. If I had to guess, it would be you'll either lose to Duke or Pitt. Although I think the Virginia Tech game is in Blacksburg, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, one of those three. Or two of those three.
Yeah, and something that's interesting to me is Handy Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Manny Diaz. Do you think? I mean, think about that. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
So he just doesn't have the draw and the talent like a lot of other people do. What do you think if he gets? Where do you think he might end up? Do you think he's going to stay at Duke? That doesn't matter where he's going to go. I'm just saying, do you think he'll stay there?
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, he had the experiment at Miami, and that didn't go great. He might be a better fit for a place like Duke than a big program, honestly. He might be one of these guys that can, especially now with the transfer portal and everything, who can build a decent team every couple years to compete in the conference and maybe make it in the playoffs every once in a while. At Duke, I don't know if he'd be a good fit for a major. Some coaches just are better fits for smaller schools. You know what I mean? I do think he's a good coach, though.
But I think there's two sides of the coin there. There are people who get the bigger picture, like I just need to make a living and enjoy my life, right?
Yeah.
Versus I need to be the top dog, throw caution to the wind. I need to chase the dream and all that stuff, which is fine, and I get it. But
well, yeah, I mean his predecessor, Mike Elko, right?
He knew what to do.
He went to well, now he was chasing a bag, and I don't blame him. Went to A&M, and he's getting whatever it is, $10.5 or $11 million a year there. So,
but sometimes money matters more than other things.
Well, money matters to everybody. If somebody shoves $10 million a year in your face, it's hard to turn that down. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, but okay. Just let's play this game. Somebody gives you $10 million a year for how many years? 2, 3?
No, they don't. There's no 2 or 3 year contracts anymore. They're all 5 or 6.
I'm not saying is you made money.
Mm-hmm.
You made $10 million a year for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
How many more millions do you need to be happy?
Well, yeah, that's a philosophical question there. It just depends on your life. It depends on your lifestyle.
Your lifestyle was shit before, so why is it changing now?
Well,
I mean,
I get what you're saying, but sometimes people make $10 million a year, and then they spend $9 million of it in a year. Seriously.
I know. But it does beg the question: is why do people have that problem? And I would call it, I'm going to hang on, the degenerate gambler syndrome.
Yes,
because that's what they're doing. They're gambling again. No, 10 million's good. Let's go to 20.
Have you seen this show Black Rabbit?
No.
Oh my God. It's
I've
first.
I've seen the synopsis on it.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I started watching it last night. But anyway, there's a scene in the second episode where Jason Bateman's one of the main characters. You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
So he's a degenerate gambler. That's what it's kind of one of the main plots of the show, right? He's in major debt with these loan sharks and these bookies. But he's in New York City. He goes into this like illegal casino game that they set up in this office building in like high rise in New York. And so they've got a full casino in there. They got roulette, right? They've got craps, they've got blackjack, they got the whole thing. Anyway, he buys in for $2,500 because he borrows $2,500 from one of his friends. His goal is to win $140,000 to pay back this bookie that he owes money. That's going to kill him, right? So he's on a hot streak. He goes to the roulette table, wins a bunch of money. He goes to the craps table, wins a bunch of money. And so now he's turned his $2,500 into $75,000. So, but he still needs, his goal is $140,000. So he goes to the blackjack table.
Who does it sound like, Pete?
Hold on now. So he gets kind of a wonky hand. He gets dealt like a 15, and the dealer has a bus card. So he has 15, and he doubles down on the 75,000. So now if he wins, he's gonna win 150,000. And the guy, that's the guy. It was like you. He's like, do you hit on the when the dealer has a bus card or not? Right.
Yep.
So the guy hit. The dealer would have got a 10 and busted because the dealer I think had a 17 or something. And he's like, you're not going to hit on the dealer. The dealer's got a bus card. Please tell me you're not going to hit on that. And the guy's like, oh well, the table's hot. So he hits, and of course, it gets the king, and then the dealer ends up drawing out to a 21. So Jason Bateman lost all of his money because that guy hit when the dealer had a bus card. Yeah.
Cringe.
150 grand.
Damn. That hurt. Oh my God. No, it's funny.
And then they cut his finger off. Spoiler alert.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
It's a good show, though.
I'll have to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Rabbit. Okay. I wrote it down. I mean, I saw I did see a thing come across, and I did watch the preview or whatever, and it seemed good to me. So I'm like, okay. I just don't understand why these coaches keep chasing the bag when they've made so much money that their whole life is, they're already set. So I don't know. Oh, well, that's their choice, not mine. But Manny seems to be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
That dude.
Well, he obviously wants to be a head coach because he was a coordinator at Penn State. And Duke offered him the job, and he was right out the door. So,
yeah. Well, he first and foremost, nothing's worse than being dictated to by some stupid idiot above you. I can attest to that. But at the same time, once you get the bag, you you're good. But I wouldn't have stayed at Penn State either.
Yeah.
How speaking of Penn State, God help us all. Um, how many more years is he going to hold on to Franklin?
I don't know. It's hard to fire a guy who wins 10 games every year.
Tell me about it. We know.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Dabo's got more. Dabo's got way, way
got
more
credentials than.
Yeah, he's won way more big games than Franklin. Mm-hmm. So over his career, but yeah, it's still hard to fire somebody who wins that many games in a tough conference. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's tough.
It is tough.
Because the last thing you want to do is replace him with somebody who only wins 7 games a year. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Why not, though? I mean, let's look at the upside, or what do you call it? The ceiling. Okay. If you have a guy that wins 7 games now, but you don't know where he came from, you don't know what his history was, right? Like he probably was, hands tied halfway behind his back. But you got a ceiling with him. Why not hire him?
Well, there's a lot of places that would love to have James Franklin. Vandy Dandy in the chat says, what about Florida? I mean, Florida would do anything to win 10 games a year right now. Seriously.
They dropped to their knees.
Yeah.
Octavian would drop to his knees.
Yeah. And I wouldn't blame him.
No, hey, James Franklin to Florida. That might be a good idea.
Hell, where would you rather live, Pennsylvania or Florida?
Yeah, snow country or...
I'd rather live in Florida.
Yeah, well, that's because you're a tropical guy.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, no state income tax for if you're making that kind of money.
Yeah, not only that, you have a lot of Hawaiian shirts, so...
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They work in Florida.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have to buy a new wardrobe, would I, Paul?
No, you said. Like I said, grow.
Yeah.
Damn. It's fine. But hey, have you found any properties up in the Lake Kiwi area?
I haven't really been looking, no. Wait, what's going on with you? You bought a piece of property on the lake and you're supposed to be building a house. What's going on with that?
I'm in the process of clearing stuff out and getting it going. So.
Well, you said that a year ago. You bought the house in the spring and you try to tell me the house will be done by the end of this year. That's not happening.
No, it ain't gonna happen this year.
I told you that.
It will happen. So, but it's a lot of what do you call it? Red tape that I have to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people think they own the rights to tell you no. So
well, be more specific. Who are you dealing with that's giving you a hard time?
The county.
Oh.
And I had to go through the whole septic system thing.
Is it what? So is it? It's not in Pickens County, is it? Or is it?
No, it's Oconee County.
Oconee. Okay.
So I had to get them to get off their ass, and I got that finally through. And then I got to the boundary lines, and I just said, all right, I need to make sure that you guys aren't going to get mad at me because I want to build a house right up to the boundary line. And they were like, well,
the boundary line of on which part of the lot?
Towards the lake.
Towards the lake. Okay, gotcha.
So that's Duke Power. So you got to go kiss the ring over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then,
well, they own the lake. Duke Power owns the lake.
Well, I know, but you got to go through that process. Is all I'm saying. It's not a, I don't get to, tell them what I'm going to do, and they just take it. So they pretty much tell me what I'm going to do, and I have to take it. So, but all that being said, it's cool. The other thing I've been looking at is there's a house. It's got 12.5 acres, not in the HOA, unrestricted land. And it's for about the price this house is here in Roswell. And I was thinking about buying it. It has a 5 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, and a pool house and a pool on 12.5 acres.
Hell.
I was thinking about getting that and then splitting it up and making a subdivision eventually out of it.
Splitting the land up?
Yep. and doing a subdivision, half acre houses. Beautiful view of the mountains too.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So it's like, ooh.
Where's that at?
It's in Walhalla. It's about 4 miles from my lake.
It's outside of city limits?
Yeah.
4
miles up outside of city limits from my lake property, right? So I'm just like, it's hard not to pull that trigger.
Yeah, I like that.
So I look at it. I have to walk around the block 3 times a day now just to keep myself from making an impulsive move.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's hard not to. I need to go up there and just walk the property. That's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell until you're there. So the house is beautiful, by the way.
I'm thinking about doing something like that. Once my youngest is, well, he's 10, so he'll graduate in 8 years.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, I want something upstate eventually.
I'll send you a link to this place so you can just look at it and think, holy shit. It's crazy great house, by the way. It's got 2 wood burning fireplaces. One in the dining room and one in the living room. And it's just set up right. And the whole thing's set up right.
How old's the house?
It's older. It's probably 84? Somewhere in that range, 84, 82. And it's a pretty much a ranch with a little bit of an upstairs area for the other bedrooms. I mean, it's not like a big 2-story, but it sprawls because it has land, right?
Yeah.
And the master's on main. It has a study off the master. I mean, off the den with a big fireplace. It's got a kitchen. It's just to die for. Dining room, brick flooring in the dining room.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool as shit. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send me a picture of it.
Yeah. Well, I'll send you the link to the Zillow.
Yeah, the Zillow deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But it's fun. I mean, that's good stuff. But at the same time, I am I going to build on this property? Well, I need to get all these people out of my way. So I'm in the process of getting them out of the way. If I want to do my house there, I'll do it. But at the same time, I might buy something like this and just use that as just drive over in the daytime, have a boat dock there, and then use it as a day property and have the house over here 4 miles away.
Well, once Miss Peete kicks me out, I'll come live there. I'll be your your house sitter permanently.
You know what they call it? A manservant. I don't think you're cut out to be a manservant.
Yeah. You don't know. Anyway, all right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the show down. But yeah, send me that link.
I will.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Paul. All right, everybody. That's gonna do it for me. Join me tonight, along with your boy Uncle Lou. We'll tell you how to win some money, or maybe even lose some, on the Lunch Money Show tonight at 9 p.m. on his channel. So come over there and say what's up. Have a great rest of your Monday.